Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Okay, so in the last two videos we made a sword and a shield thingy. In this video we're actually I added a shield to the game. And so now that I've added the shield, we can do some neat stuff. So what I want to do is I just want to go into the toolbox here. And I want to look up, see, I just typed in shield and I found all these shields. So we're just going to use one of them. And then what I want to do now is I want like a symbol. But if we look at yeah, we could take this one here. Let's see. Is it a whole bunch of parts? Oh, it's just union. Okay, perfect. So we could take that union, and let's see, we're going to move it down. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to scale it so that way it fits on the shield here. Maybe something like that. And we'll try and center it here. And we can do that maybe. That could work. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to weld it to the shield, and then we need to put the union inside the shield. Now what we want to do is I want to change the color of it to green, and right now its transparency is going to be 1. So when we hold the shield, we are going to press H. And now what we're going to do also in this video is we're going to have to create a controls window here that the player will click on, and it'll give them whatever, something like that. We'll have to create an interface of some kind for the player. Okay, so when they fire the server, yeah, I accidentally deleted the vest, and now I sort of have to reset this up. So I think we can just do that, right? Let's test that out. I think it just has to be player.name, I think. Oh, it must be anchored. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so it isn't doing anything. So what did we need to do last time? We needed to say local player equals script.parent parent dot player name dot value. See that. If I put it in quotes, it'll print player.value in quotes. Why are you not working? Okay. Alright, I gotta stay. I remember we did this yesterday. I don't want to have a repeat of that. Okay, where is it here? Oh, that's the rig. Whoopsies. Alright, so it has the player. I wonder why it won't print that value. Because it's on the player, that's right. So what we needed to do is here. Let's try something. Let's just try something here. If the local script is on the object, let's just go script parent. Let's forget about this for a minute, and let's go script parent dot union dot transparency equals 0. Let's just try that. Let's just try that. Oh, and it's actually H. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So now what we want to do is copy and do that, and we can say that one. Yeah, perfect. And then we want to say script dot parent dot parent dot parent. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and then we'll say find first child a humanoid. Humanoid dot health equals, and then what we just need to say is local amount equals 0.1, I think it was. Health equals plus amount. All right, let's try that. It is working. Or that's our natural regen. Let's see. No, I don't think it's working. Let me see. Rig dot humanoid. It might not even be. Oh yeah, dot health. There we go. So that should be that. But it might, no, because if it couldn't find the humanoid, then here, let's just do that. If it couldn't find the humanoid, it would give me an error. It would say can't find first child, whatever. Whoa. Oh yeah, every time you press it. So I see, because it only works when you gotcha. It only works when you press it. Not if you press and hold it. So then, okay, so that's, I guess that's alright. Not really, but I guess that's alright. Let's see. So what we would need to do is we would need to make like a health sequence, right? So we could copy this, for example, and we could just go, we could wait like that. Or we could just say, no, I don't know if that would work. I was going to say we could do like, make a value that turns on. Let's see. So now we should get a boost, a quick little boost to health when we use the object. Whew. Oh yeah, there we go. You see it's healing quite a bit. Oh, that's nice. Every time you press it. Okay. That's neat. So now what we can do is we want to add like an effect to the shield. To this whole thing. So let's insert an object and let's a particle emitter. Yeah, there we go. And we can make the particle emitter like and we could speed 1. Oh, neat. And then we can have rotation maybe like 5. Let's see. A box. Yeah, there we go. Lifetime 1, 3. There we go. And then maybe we'll color that something like that. Cool. And we'll just call this emit. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to make that enabled false. And now we will say no, we want it to, yeah, we want to say script parent. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll say this. We'll say local emitter equals script dot parent dot union dot emit. So then we just say emitter dot enabled equals true, and then at the end here we could say emitter dot enabled equals false, and then now we just need a sound. We need like a healing sound. I don't even know if we, let's see, let's go to sound audio, and then let's type in heal. And it needs to be like a couple of seconds. Let's see. Oh, that's gonna be copyrighted. Okay, I like the sound, so let's just insert that, and then we'll just make this sound heal. Alright, so then what we want to do in the functions, we are going to say local heal sound equals script parent union emit heal sound, and then we will, at the end, we'll play it. Let's see, heal sound play, and it's not looped. Perfect. And then that way when we press the button down, all this cool stuff is going to happen and we'll get healed. The particle emitter should go for a little bit longer than that. And we should probably wait like 3 seconds maybe. Oh, I see, because it's the healing part is quick. Yeah. Ooh, that's nice. Cool, there we go. Ouch. Ah. Nice. So now what we've done is we're starting to add to our object, right? We're starting to add to it. So now we have a union here. It does some stuff. It's looking pretty good for when we heal. What I should do is, instead of taking the transparency, I don't even know if we need if we need to fire the other variable. I think we just need to end the input. I don't even think we need to fire a variable for any of the input. I think we can just do that. And then what we can do is we can take this transparency here and put it there. And then I think we'll get smoother action all around. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, perfect. So now we have our one function. So now what we want to do is we can add a couple of more things to the shield if we want to, or we can yeah, because eventually we'll upgrade it into be the same shield, but we can add different things to it. So we can go back to the toolbox if we want to, and we can go back to models, and we can look up another symbol. And maybe there's a lot of them. Let's see. We'll just pick something. Yeah, we could go with that one. We could try the omega symbol as well. There's another one of those, but it's reversed. Yeah, here we'll take the omega symbol. Now, what this is going to do, this effect, is going to be like a resist. Okay, so we'll put that inside the handle, and then what we want to do is we want to, so it can go that way just a little bit. We're going to weld it to there. Okay, we're going to make this red. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow us to resist damage. Because right now we're only up against a single NPC. But if we were up against a whole bunch of NPCs, we would need to resist some damage. So, the second function that we're going to code will be resist. Now, I don't even know if we need to have the input ended, but I'm just putting input ended in there is probably a good idea. So for this could be, say, J. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to say if variable is equal to resist, then, which is what it is, then we want to say script dot parent dot union dot where is it here? Oh, it's not, it's its own. Dot resist dot transparency equals 0. So right now we're going to have transparency as 1. Oh, and then what we want to do also is we want to say script dot parent dot union dot material equals neon, and then here we want to say script dot parent union material equals plastic. Same with this. Script parent resist material equals neon. Okay, now what do we want it to do? We also want to add an effect to it. So basically we're just going to take the effect that we have for here. We're just going to copy that. And we're going to paste it into, and we'll change the sound here. So we need to go back to audio. Just needs to be yeah, this one's gonna be kinda that's interesting. Alright. Should be something, I don't know, but it should be something like, let's see, it needs to be short and sweet. There's the pneumatic drill, of course, that's going to keep coming up, right? There it is again, it's the only short one that's on here. A lot of this is music, so that's why I'm a little hesitant to go through it. Okay, well maybe we won't have any audio in this one for now. We'll just do that, and this will just be particles. Okay, so now what we also want to do is we want to say script.parent.resist particles enabled equals true, and then we want to turn this to red. Okay, now this effect is going to go on for 1 minute or 60 seconds, whatever the timer is. It'll just wait the timer down. We can build a timer in there. We can do something else. We can track the server time so it's synced with the server. We'll worry about that eventually. And then what it's going to do is so now we need to tie this in with the sword on the rig. So what we need to do is we need a Boolean value in the shield. Yeah, this is what we have to do. We need a value inside the shield. We need to insert an object, a Boolean value, and we need to call this resist on. So then we need to turn it on. Script.parent resist on value equals true. Script.parent resist on value equals false. And then when the sword does damage, it's gonna check for, let's see, I don't know, I seem to have written the same expression twice. Yeah, so the second part here, instead of finding the humanoid, what we're going to find is this here. I don't know if we already have that. But So we'll have to say find first child, the chest armor. Then we have to say dot handle dot resist on. So we are basically saying if this value is equal to true, then it's going to do the regular amount. And if it's not equal to true, it's going to do the smaller amount. So let's reverse that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think that's right. So we don't have it activated. And the sword is broken. Oh, because I have it on here. If it does exist. Okay, so then let's change this. I already had it, that's why. Right, if it has it on, and we want to say we should still try and find the chest armor. This here. Oh, if... What am I doing? What am I doing here? Messing up the code, messing up the code. If it finds the armor, and then inside the armor we say handle dot resist on. That's all we need to do. Alright, then it's gonna give ammo, yeah, then it's gonna give 0.1, or else it's gonna give full. Alright, there we go. That's I was wondering why. I was like, it's way too complicated. You already have the code there. Alright, so resistance isn't on. Alright, so what do we do here? Maybe we just have to do that. Let's see. So we have it on us. Yeah, dot handle, dot resist on. So what is it telling me? It can't find the handle? Oh, I see. So because it's... I wonder if I need to say hit.parent. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. There, did some damage to me. So now, if I put on resist, let's see. Now that didn't work at all. It didn't go through. Let me see. Now that works, but the other one does not. All right, let's try another one. Let's try just another key first off. Yeah, it's there. All right, something is amiss here. Something is amiss. All right, what if I only press M? Yeah, something is amiss here. I wonder if this has to be else. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so now while that's going, oh yeah, look, we take way less damage. We still take damage, but we're taking way less damage. Now, obviously, there will be a cooldown on that. You'll only be able to use it so many times. And maybe we'll have a bar here which tracks the cooldown on it. That would be neat, actually. We'll just wait for the cooldown and we'll see if we're doing, if we take less damage. Or more damage, I should say. unless... Alright, so I just turned the value to false. Okay. That's... So now we should be taking full damage. Whew. Holy, okay, so now resist is on. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm definitely taking... it's hard to tell, it's hard to tell. Let's see. What we should do now is we should print, because it waits 2 seconds. Now let's print resist and heal. So print resist, print full damage. There we go. Full damage. Full damage. So it's not working at all. It's not working at all. It's not, it's just... Oh, that's why, because it's just looking for the humanoid. So then we need this to be, this needs to be down there. And it should be false. And that's, for some reason, breaks it. It breaks it. So I don't even know if it can query this then. If it just stops at, finds the humanoid. So what we would probably need to do here is, let's see if we take, maybe it was never working in the first place. So let's take this and let's put this here. But instead of humanoid.health, let's say find first child, and then let's see if we can find this in there. So if we have the shield, yeah, full damage, and now just having the shield, there we go. Now it's saying resist. Okay, excellent. Wow, now that we've determined that, now we can say, oops, dot handle, dot resist, where are we here? Dot resist on. If it equals true, then So when we fire it, that's right, it's going to equal true, then it's going to be false, and then we want all this to go away as well. So this is going to be 1, this is going to be plastic, and this is going to be false. Perfect. So now, as you can see, we're starting to set up the armor that the player is going to wear, and we need to be able to make sure it can resist damage. Look at that, full damage. So then if I press M, it says resist. Oh, that's perfect. And now we'll wait for that to go away. Quick timer. I probably should have set it to like 10 seconds just for the example. Let's do that. Let's set it to like 10 seconds. There we go. Now I'm taking full damage. And then if I turn that back on, now I'm resisting damage. Cool, so I hope that by the end of this video here, that's been a long one, 45 minutes, yeah. That is pretty much going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. I hope now you kind of understand what it takes to start and design a game like this, you know, where it could be PvP, it could be whatever. But now what we're able to do is when the player presses a button, they're able to heal themselves, and when a player presses the button, they're able to resist damage. So what we now need to do finally is we need to make sure that there are checks when they press the buttons, so that way it doesn't interfere with the timer on the right here. So we need to check first if we need to say if say script.parent .resist on is equal to false, then do this. Then we need to say else if script.parent .resist on is equal to true, then you just tell it to wait. And we can also print for debugging. We can print resist active. Alright, so let's try that. And that way if we try and spam it over and over again, it should prevent us from spamming it over and over again. Or it just breaks itself. I wonder if this has to be else if. That can't kind of make sense, can it? No, that can't kind of make sense. So what we need to do is instead of we can't do it in the local script. easier to do it here. I wonder why it keeps breaking. Oh, that's why, because this should probably be value. That makes sense. There we go. There, I'm trying to spam it and it's telling me that it's active. So then again, and then what we could also now do is we could insert an object, and we could insert a surface interface, and then inside the interface we could insert a screen. No, we want a frame. Is it a surface interface? Or is it, let's see, insert object. We want to insert a billboard. There we go. And then inside that, we want to insert a text box, a text label. There we go. Now, I don't really know too much about billboards, so what we'll do is we want to insert an object and attachment, okay? And this can be GFX, we'll call it. And then we'll take the billboard and we will put it inside GFX. And then this will be GFX. Text label. There we go. So now it could be like that. It could be up above. Let's just see where it sits when the player has it. What this is going to do is this is going to display the data. So there's two ways we can go from here with the game. Okay, the first way is we could make it like a hack and slash type game, where data comes up here, you know, when we're hit, it can display on here, you've been hit, and it can show us the damage. For example, when we're doing full damage, we could also find the handle, and we could say dot GFX dot text label dot text equals, because we need to change the text label dot text. Where is it? What do we want it to be? Instead of just saying label, and then we can make it just scaled, whatever. And it could say full damage. And we'll get rid of that. See if that works. There, see, full damage. And so that could appear, yeah, I like that. So the text label itself, we can say visible false, and then that way we can, when we make it here, we need this part here. It's a lot of code. So we need that, and we need to say dot visible, is it? Yeah. Equals true. And then we need to take it, and we need to, yeah, after it waits 2 seconds, dot visible equals false. Okay, let's see how that works. So sometimes the sword makes contact with the workspace, and it changes the name of the player to workspace. And that's why I can't find the player. So what it should do is, when it's hit, it changes the name. I wonder if that could be in a separate script. That could be in a separate script, actually. Let's duplicate that, and then let's make this just like that. And then we'll say script.enabled equals false. Oh, but that's as soon as it gets hit. We should say yeah, that is the problem. So with the NPCs, see the sword is quite long. So if we scale it back a little bit, it might not come into contact with the workspace while the NPC is moving around. And then folder. What did you come in contact with? Oh, it probably came into contact with that. Yeah, touches that. Okay, so that is a problem. That is a problem there. So it'll work. Let's see. Let's just let the NPC stop. I'll have to figure out the latency on that. Let the NPC just stop. This might work better for something like that versus something like this. Oh no, it's giving the error. Anyways, line 22. Yeah, it's giving me an error on this. Let's try that, maybe. Whew. Oh yeah, look at that. It broke. Oh, but it started working again. It's so funny. Ooh, okay, so it just doesn't like that. So we'll have to figure out a different way. We'll have to figure out a different way to get that to work. just doesn't like that. But perhaps I wonder if I need another. All right. Well, anyways, that is pretty well gonna do it for. I dragged this one out. I'm really sorry. I dragged this one out for another 10 minutes or so. I was hoping to see if we could just get a little bit of. That's cool. So we get the resistance on that. That's fine. And then we get the full damage, obviously, from when it's not on. Yeah, that works. Okay, that works for now. I was just hoping to maybe try and get the graphic working. But that's something else that we'll need to focus on is how do we tie that in? How do we add a graphic on there to a visual reference to show the player is taking full damage versus the player is resisting. Now, what we could do is, this is what I was saying, this is where we can go from real time into semi-real time, where we can create a random number generator, and every time the player comes into contact with the sword, it can activate the random number generator, which would do a random value of damage to the player like that way. And it just kind of could add it does one of two things. It adds latency to the system, and it also doesn't, like, as you can see, when we touch the sword, it gives us damage almost 70 times. I mean, that's a huge amount of damage, so we have to tweak the damage. Whereas if we were to hit the sword, and then it would just sort of play a little sequence, and then just does a little bit of damage to us, it wouldn't be a big deal. So that's kind of where we go from the realm of real time into like semi-real time, right? So what I mean by that, and then this will be the end of the video. What I mean by that is that in here, see, we're saying when the handle is touched, and then it sets off this sequence of events. It gives damage every time it's touched. Whereas we can change this so that way, you know, it goes through a different process. It gets the name of the player. Anyways, yeah, I'll figure it out, and then we'll do that for the next one. We'll see. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking is that, and then that way, if you're getting attacked by 3 or 4 or 5 of these things, when they hit you, it does damage, a random amount of damage, but it's not constantly. You know, like this, it's not 20 times. It's maybe every second or every 10 seconds. See, like in this case, we try to get it so that way it only activates once. You know, and then it does damage. So anyways, what we need to do is I just need to connect the dots. And maybe what I mean by that is that we're able to check to see that resist on the value is on the shield. So maybe what we need to do is we need to add another value to the shield. We could go insert object, and it could say an object value, for example. No, not an object value. We need a bool. Insert object bool. Okay, and then this here we could call hit, right? So when we're hit, we could also say hit dot hit dot value equals true. And now it's going to give all kinds of errors. It should if it touches the workspace. Yeah, there we go. But it did strike once. So if I was to look at us, and I was to look at here, and I was to look at hit well, the value is false. There we go. Now the value is true. Okay, so at some point it hit us and the value became true. But of course, it's going to give all these. It has to wait to hit the shield, right? So once it hits the shield, now it turns on the value that's true. So now we can say if resist is on is true, and if, oh no, we could just say and, we could take this value here, but we want to say hit, and hit dot value equals true, then let's do a smaller amount of damage. So if you're, that's probably not what we would want to do here, actually. Honestly, we would probably just want to get that out of there. The second, just confusing it. Yeah, actually, what we can do is we can say here, like that. But instead of resist on, we could say if handle dot hit. Yeah, there we go. Then I think I said if, right? Yeah. Is equal to true. Then do all of this. Let's see, else. Print not found. Okay, let's try that. Oh, in there, already there. It's supposed to print not found. Wait. Let's see, one of these ends should be here, I think. No, that's not what it's saying. It's saying it has to be here. So, let's see, we have this. I wonder if I should just say and for that. Yeah, I think I might need to, I think it might be easier to do that. Let's see here, let's see. If I cut that and we say and, then, and we get rid of this, then that means we get rid of this, and then if we say and, we eliminate that line of code, and we eliminate that end. Let's see if that's gonna work. Interesting. It just totally doesn't want to work. So funny. Okay. So what we should do for this, we should say if hit.name is equal to then yeah, there we go. Can we do that? Okay, so it should be doing damage. Look at that, knockdown. But which one is it? Which one is it printing? Let's see. Which one is it printing? Ah, it is printing the other one. So it's printing that one. So now this. Let me see. Then if player.name. Alright, well anyways, we're gonna have to end this here. I'll have to go through this and sort the code out. It'll probably take me a little bit just to figure out this part here. Because what I wanted to do is maybe I don't need this part here. And then maybe I don't need that. Would be like that. So it should say not found. Yeah, there we go. So it's not detecting the shield. But if you have the shield, it should do damage. But it's still saying not found because it's not really, it's hitting everything else. So this is for that expression. And then this is for that expression. This would be for that one. This would be for... Alright, let's try this one more time and then we're out of music. We're out of music. Okay, so it should hit the shield, at least. It should hit the shield. And then let's see if the name of the shield... Yeah, so our name is on the name of the shield. Okay, except it's not doing damage, and I wonder why that is. Is it because other parts are hitting it and not that? So at some point it should have worked, but then it didn't want to give us the damage. And I suspect it has to do with, again, if we do that, we need to do that. And then if we change that to... We need to add an end here. I might be getting that confused. That the expressions are... Yeah, there's something wrong here. Something's going on here. Anyways, we'll have to figure that out in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Like I say, in this video, we made a shield. We made the shield do some stuff. And now we're just trying to figure out where to go from there. So thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.